In February of 2020, my net worth was negative $4,000, and in February of 2021, that was at $50,000. And today I'm going to show you the steps that I took pretty much in the order that I took them, and you can easily follow them if you wanted to. I did not make these steps up. They're boring and anybody can do them, but that's the great thing about it. Anyone can do it. And if you have a net worth of less than $50,000 and you're looking to get that first $50,000, then I made this video with you in mind. Now you probably know what net worth is already, but it's a simple formula. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. So assets minus liabilities. With that out of the way, we can go on to step 0. You don't have to do this step, but this is how I did it. This was my first step before I even started, and that is that I got a well-paying job. Now you don't need a well-paying job for a $50,000 net worth, or really any net worth, but it'll speed up the process. And if you don't have a well-paying job, then either work with what you've got or work on making more money. Now I wish I could help you out more in this area, but that's all I've got for you for now. When I figure out how to make more money, I'll let you know. So the first step is going to be to track your net worth. Now I'm going to be honest here, I did not start tracking my net worth until about mid-May of 2021, when I made a video on how I plan to save and invest my first $100,000 by 23. When I tracked my net worth and I saw that it was over $55,000, my mind was blown, to be honest, and it really opened my eyes to how well I had been doing financially. Now before I had made that video and before I tracked the net worth, I felt like I was doing well because I was always saving and investing, but seeing the number was like a game changer. It wasn't until I saw the actual number that I realized how I was doing. And that's really all net worth does. It just tells you how you're doing financially. You can be making $200,000 a year, but if you spend it all, if you're getting yourself into debt, then it'll show on your net worth. So don't make the mistake of thinking that you're doing well financially because you make a lot of money. That just means you have potential. That word kind of sucks. Something my high school football coach said. He hated the word potential because it means that you could be good, but you're not. Now you may be wondering, how do you track your net worth? And there's a few ways to do this. The way I do it is through an app called Mint. So through Mint, I put in all my different accounts and it'll track my net worth in real time, which is really cool. I can just go to my phone, open the app, and see what my net worth is at any time. I also have an Excel sheet where I manually track it because I like to have a snapshot of it at specific dates. You can also just use a network calculator online. Either of these methods is fine as long as you're tracking it. So the next step is that I invested before I got paid. Now I didn't start being smarter and intentional with my money until about June of 2020, but the thing I did do since I got my job in February of 2020 was contribute to my 401k. So even though I was blowing through all the money I was getting paid on my paycheck, my net worth was still increasing because I wasn't getting myself into debt, for one, and two, because investing was the first thing I did before I got paid. That is one of the great things about a 401k. You're investing and you don't even notice that money is gone because it's money that gets invested before it even reaches your paycheck. It also lowers the amount of your money that can get taxed, which is a good short-term plus. So even though I didn't start being intentional with my money until June of 2020, because I had contributed to my 401k since I started working, it was about $4,000 when I started being intentional with it. So you want to contribute at least the company match to a 401k because that is free money. Something else that I did that I don't like talking about because it sets a bad example, but I'm going to talk about it because I did it and I'm being transparent here. But from April 10th to about June 19th of 2020, I put about $3,300 into Robinhood. This is worth between $8,000 to $11,000. It just depends on how the stocks are doing. I guess I picked individual stocks that fluctuate a lot, like Dogecoin. Honestly, I don't recommend this. I was investing in individual stocks before I even knew anything, and it was pretty much gambling. Now, I don't recommend this. It sort of paid off for me as of right now, but I don't recommend it. This was all money I was willing to lose. So the next step I took, and this was one of the first things I did when I started being intentional with my money, and that was I started an emergency fund. I started it in July of 2020 and I completed it around March of 2021, and I keep about $15,000 in there. So not only does this contribute to my net worth, but it also gives me a lot of peace of mind financially. It covers 8 months of my living expenses, so if anything unexpected were to happen, like a job loss, it would be a financial inconvenience, but I wouldn't be scrambling for money like 2 weeks from now. I'd be okay with no money coming in for about 8 months. Honestly, having this emergency fund has given me a lot of confidence financially, probably more confidence than $15,000 should give me, but this was one of the first things I did that helped me stop being broke and break out of that broke mentality. Another step I took was getting out of debt. I graduated college with about $4,000 of student loan debt. It's not a whole lot, and as you know, the student loan payments have been paused until January 31 of 2022. Now I have not paid off that money, but it is sitting in a high yield savings account and I do not touch it. I have it there, so it makes a tiny bit of money. I also don't like paying money until I have to, and it's also a second emergency fund. Now, if I'm being completely honest here, if I needed to touch that $4,000, I would have much bigger problems. For the meantime, it's just sitting there until payments resume again, and they will. Now I'm telling you this because while I haven't paid it off, having that money saved has kept the debt from working against me when it comes to my net worth. Because remember, net worth is assets minus liabilities, and debt is a liability. If you have debt, it's probably working against you unless it's making you money. So those were all the steps I followed. I have a bonus one that I didn't start until a little bit after I passed $50,000, but that is to open a Roth IRA. That is a retirement account, but it's got different rules than a 401k. This isn't a video on retirement accounts, but I encourage you to look into them. So these are the steps I took to reach my first $50,000 net worth, but I did leave out one of, if not the most important part, and that is budgeting. Budgeting made everything I talked about in this video possible, and if you want to start your budget today, make sure you watch this video.